What is going on, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be previewing the 2025 college football schedule for the Oklahoma Sooners. I'm going to go through every single game on their schedule and predict their record for 2025. Oklahoma is a team that really struggled last season. They went 6 and 7 with a bowl loss to Navy. They did not have a great year one in the SEC, and they even underperformed. But heading into next season, I think there's a lot more potential. The offensive line has 4 starters back. They didn't really make any big additions on the offensive line through the portal, despite their huge struggles on the offensive line last season. So they are trusting in the offensive line and what it has back. Despite the strugglesome season, we still have to give this team credit for managing to make a bowl game in year one in the SEC when they had all of their good players injured. They had like 6 to 7 of their top wide receivers out. They had players injured at a lot of levels. But next season is a year to reload. They got a star receiver in Deion Burks back. Outside of Deion Burks, I don't know who that number 2 guy is going to be. They need someone to step up. And a guy that could step up is Isaiah Sategna. This is a guy that had nearly 500 receiving yards for Arkansas last season. And they also add a solid 3-star receiver out of the portal in Giovanni Gibson. But they lost some guys to the portal at receiver. They are going to have to reload at that position, and they need guys to step up. So again, there are some questions on offense heading into next season, but one bright spot for them is easily the quarterback position, with one of the best quarterbacks coming in John Mateer. I love the addition of John Mateer at quarterback. He could shake things up for this team. Not only is he a good passer, but he is an electric runner. For Washington State last season, he had 3,139 yards with a completion percentage of 64, 29 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. He absolutely elevated that Washington State team. They were a lot better than people expected. And he also managed to run for 826 yards. And they also add one of the best backs in the portal in Jaden Ott. So they are going to have somewhat of a rushing attack. And imagine if the offensive line can be better. And this is also a defense that returns some good players at every single level. Brent Venables is a great defensive mind. They have been consistent on defense under him. They returned Jaden Jackson and Mason Thomas on the defensive line, and of course the big stud in Domonic Williams. They also returned some solid pieces in the secondary and a good linebacker. They do return Kip Lewis, who had 65 tackles, 4 TFLs, and a couple interceptions at linebacker. They have a lot of young, talented guys coming up, and this is a pretty deep defense. I have a lot of expectations for the defense. They are nearly top of the SEC in return and production on defense. So this is an Oklahoma team to keep an eye on, but without further ado, let's get into predicting the schedule. They will open the season with a pretty solid team from the FCS and Illinois State. And although Illinois State went 10-4 last season, they also got shut out by Iowa and could not compete with the good teams in the FCS. And I think Oklahoma will open the season with a blowout win, moving to 1-0 no problem. But not long into the schedule, in week 2, they get Michigan and they host them at home. This game is going to be telling, and it could be a sneaky game. The winner of this game could have huge momentum and possibly be a sneaky playoff contender. Both these teams are comparable at the line of scrimmage. They both have comparable coaching staffs. They both have new quarterbacks. They lack some playmakers, but they both have really good running back rooms. There's a lot of similarities with this team, but really there's 2 things and 2 huge things that gives Oklahoma the advantage in this game. It is the quarterback position with experience from John Mateer, and it is the fact that they simply have this game at home. It's going to be a tough road game for Michigan. Look, I think people are too high on Bryce Underwood. He's only a true freshman quarterback. I don't think he'll do anything crazy on the road at Oklahoma. He doesn't have great receivers to work with either. I like Oklahoma to win a somewhat close game and move to 2-0 on the schedule. The following week, they will play Temple on the road. This will be a weird road game for them. But Temple is just so bad of a team. I can't see Oklahoma slipping up in this game or even struggling. Even if they play their D- game, I like Oklahoma to win this game. Temple continues to have terrible seasons. But I will say one bright spot with this team is the new head coach, Casey Keeler. He is a very experienced head coach and has a great track record. He could turn this team around if you give him a couple of years, but I don't think it's a one-year rebuild. Oklahoma will win this game easily. I have them moving to 3-0. And they will then get Auburn at home. This will be a similar test to the Michigan game, but they get it at home, And this is another game where I gotta take Oklahoma's quarterback play. I think it will be a battle at the line of scrimmage. Both these teams are good defensively. Both these teams have some questions on offense, but the potential is there. But do I trust Hugh Freeze and that coaching staff to get this one on the road? No, I don't think so. I love Auburn's talent at wide receiver, but they have more areas to fill. I like what they've added on the offensive line, but I'm simply going to take Oklahoma's quarterback and their home field advantage in this game. It's going to help them out a lot this next season. And I do have Oklahoma winning this game. It could be close, but I have them moving to 4-0. Oklahoma's schedule is very weird. After the Auburn game, they will get a bye week, but they will play the worst FBS team in Kent State at home, and that is off of the bye week. And Kent State is so bad they could have a 0-12 season incoming. They're even worse than Temple. There's no way Oklahoma struggles in this game. They have it off a bye week. I think they win this game and move to 5-0. I think the first game of the season where they will not have many advantages is against Texas. Maybe they have the quarterback advantage, but it's really not by a mile like the other quarterbacks. I think John Mateer is far better than Bryce Underwood and Jackson Arnold, but I think Arch Manning has a lot more potential and he's more proven than the other quarterbacks I named. I don't think he's going to be great, but I do think that Texas defense is elite and will be the best in the country. And I think they have enough on offense to be able to get the job done. I like Texas in this game. This will be a rivalry game. I could see it being close. John Mateer could play his heart out. But I have to take Oklahoma to drop their first game. I think it's fair that they lose to Texas and move to 5-1. We will then see another game of two exciting quarterbacks when Oklahoma travels to South Carolina and John Mateer will play against Lenore Sellers. This is a tough road atmosphere and they have to play them right after the Texas game. That is brutal. And I think the physicality and the brutality of that game the previous week could carry over. And South Carolina is a team that could wear down that Oklahoma defense with Lenore Sellers at quarterback and the legs that he has. I think South Carolina is going to be pretty decent next season. They don't return a lot of starters, but they got some young guys coming up and they did a good job in the portal. They got Lenore Sellers back at quarterback, and defensively they got one of the best players in the country in Dylan Stewart, and they got decent depth. I think Oklahoma will lose this game and move to 5-2. After a couple of tough games, they will then get Ole Miss at home. Ole Miss is a team that really has to reload at a lot of positions this year. They are near the bottom of the SEC in return in production, but Lane Kiffin continues to do his thing in the portal. I think they will be pretty good again. But they do have a tough schedule, and there are some good teams in the SEC getting better, so Ole Miss could struggle a bit. And there's a couple of games on that schedule that just do not favor them. They will have a new quarterback in Austin Simmons stepping up. But he certainly has the receiving core with Caden Lee back. They added a very talented receiver in Harrison Wallace from Penn State. And De'Son Stribling is a great pickup from Oklahoma State. Defensively, we'll see if Lane Kiffin can keep building that defense. If they put it together, this could be a sneaky team. But Ole Miss's talent doesn't match up with the other SEC teams. I think this game favors Oklahoma at home. They have the quarterback to get it done. I think they win it and move to 6-2. The following week, they will go on the road to play Tennessee. I had them losing the away game to South Carolina, and Tennessee is one of the tougher places to play in the country. It is not an easy task playing at Neyland Stadium, but man, I am just not high on this Tennessee team at all. They lost so much talent. They lost Nico Iamaleava at quarterback. They lost their star running back who really helped carry the offense. Losing Dylan Sampson will hurt. And the receiver room is questionable, and the defense doesn't return a lot either. They lost an elite NFL talent in James Pierce Jr. The secondary got exposed at times last season. They made the playoffs, but they had a very easy schedule, and I think they were a bit overrated. And honestly, I like Oklahoma in this spot on the road. Like I said, I'm not too high in Tennessee. I like Oklahoma to get this win and move to 7-2. Off of the bye week, they will have another tough road game at Alabama. Last season in this spot, Oklahoma got the win at home, but this season I think it's going to be a different story. Alabama is legit on defense, and if they can get the offense to get going, they will be very dangerous. And I think Kalen DeBoer has addressed those issues. Really, Jalen Milroe was completely up and down, but I expect Ty Simpson to be much more consistent, especially with the addition of Ryan Grubb at offensive coordinator, and they got some talented guys back on offense. I don't like this game for Oklahoma on the road. It's going to be tough. I think they drop and move to 7-3. The following week, they will get Missouri at home. Last season, Missouri actually won this game, but Oklahoma really should have won it last season. They're going to be looking for revenge. And when I look at these rosters, I see Oklahoma having a way better roster. Missouri adds some good portal talent, but those guys really have to fit in. I don't like the offense. I think they lack offensive talent. I don't expect Bo Bubula to be that good at quarterback. They have a bright spot at running back in Ahmad Hardy, but overall they have questions. But I really like Oklahoma at home in this game. I think they win this game to move to 8-3. They will end their season with a home game at LSU, a very winnable game, but LSU is just a team I am very high on. When I look at this Oklahoma team, I think they got some very good bright spots, but I also have questions with the offensive line. I have questions with the receiver room if they have that many guys that can step up. But believe it or not, when I look at LSU, I think they are complete from top to bottom. Despite losing a lot on the offensive line, they still have a lot of talent coming up, and they did a good job in the portal as well. Garrett Nussmeier is experienced, and they have a very deep receiving core, and they add Barian Brown and also Nick Anderson, and they have a defense that I think is going to be really good. Blake Baker is going to elevate this defense in year 2. They have the #1 portal class in America. This is the year that Brian Kelly gets back to winning double-digit games. He's done it his whole career. Maybe he hasn't won the Natty yet, but he's been a consistently winning football coach. This may be a tough one for LSU on the road. I can see John Mateer having a big game, but I'm going to take LSU's line of scrimmage, and I think they have a more complete roster. So I have Oklahoma losing this game and moving to 8-4 on the season. So there you have it. That is my prediction for Oklahoma in 2025. I have them at 8-4. If Oklahoma can have a good offensive line, they could be a sneaky playoff contender. I truly believe that. The schedule is tough, but they have some good home spots where they can get some wins. And anything is possible with a quarterback like John Mateer. I think he's going to be very good. They've been consistent on defense, so they just have to take that step forward offensively. They're known for being a winning program, but year 2 in the SEC will be telling for this team. But anyways, you guys let me know what you think about this Oklahoma team. How many games will they win in 2025? Let me know down in the comments below. Then let me remind you guys to like the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then you'll love this channel because we upload a ton of college football content and we basically cover everything on this channel. So definitely consider subscribing. And also consider checking out my socials down in the description below. I started an ESPN college pick'em group, so feel free to join that. I'm looking for some college football fans who could join. But that is going to do it, guys, and peace out.